Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Man United Agenda. This is your Studs Up show, and what's next for Donny Van Der Beek? Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Man United Agenda. This is your Studs Up show. It's Monday, and it's the aftermath of Man United played Southampton on the weekend, and we're here to discuss quite a lot of topics on it. As always, we are joined by Mr. B on Monday.
Hello.
Big Phil, say with your chest out. And can we welcome Jay Motty back to the United Agenda. Welcome back, sir. How are you doing?
Thank you for having me, man. I always enjoy coming on here, so I'm grateful to be asked back on.
It's our pleasure always getting you on the show. And what can I say? Trying to get the names correct. We will not do the Slovakia team sheet when it comes out on the international. We promise we won't do that. But one thing we can say and we can introduce is what is next for Donny Van Der Beek. What is next, guys? Because at the moment, as a United fan, I feel so sorry for this young man, and it's almost like he's been put from pillar to post. He had 19 games altogether as a combined for Man United so far since in his career. He's come on 15 times a sub of average of only 11 minutes per game for Manchester United. But yet we are screaming out for other players for Man United to sign, but we've got a really talented player in the making right now. So let's start off with, let's go to Mr. B. Mr. B, we did a watch along and we did the preview show afterwards. And I think we were very hurt by that performance on the weekend by a couple of our players. But listen, the cobwebs, the dust has settled, cobwebs are wiped away a little bit, and it's Monday, and we're ready for the weekend game already. So let's start off with you first.
Look, I'll be honest, right? I was, hurt's not even the word that I felt. I was just so gutted that you look at the team sheet, the team that came out, and I'm just praying that Donny does get just enough game time to prove that he's worthy of maybe a start. It's now, I think, got to the stage where he has to be thinking he's got no chance. He's got no chance at the club. McTominay's injured. He doesn't play. Fred doesn't play. He doesn't play. To me, he's got what, 7 days left? We've got 7 days left. What reassurances is he going to get in 7 days? I mean, even if he plays the next game and plays well, I can't see Ollie picking him. My biggest issue, which has always been, is if he's not an Ollie signing as a manager, or he wasn't, as an Ollie signing, why have you taken him? You know, as a manager, you're supposed to have control of the club. And was he bought? Did Ollie just accept that he comes to the club and he doesn't? I mean, he's wasted a year. He's wasted a whole year. He had the Euros to play. God bless him. He was in the squad and got injured. So is he? You know, he's in a crisis at the moment. To me, whatever he's done, he's in that patch where it's just bad luck. And the biggest bad luck for him right now is being a Manchester United player. I think he needs to get out of the club because he's not trusted by Ollie. He can't stay here and play. If he stays, he's going to get how much games, really? So my thing for Ollie, my thing for Van Der Beek would be to try and get a move. I know it's 7 days left, but try and get the move. Just if you have to kick up a stink and act like a bitch for a week, get your agent to do it, because he's going to waste another year of his career at Old Trafford.
Let's go to Phil. Phil, with this transfer, because it is frustrating for myself, and I think it's frustrating for quite a lot of United fans out there. But do you think Ole just need to set the record straight on what he will do with Donny? Is he going to get game time? Because obviously he came up with Lingard and said, "Oh, Lingard is part of United. He will have a position at Man United." But we don't hear any comments whatsoever regarding Donny Van Der Beek.
Well, let's be real. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer also said that Andres Pereira has a future at United, and all of a sudden he's shipped off to Flamengo, right? So it's more of like an answer that a politician would give, right? I wonder how Donny Van Der Beek must be feeling, right? Because you go from playing with Ajax week in, week out, not only just in the Dutch league, but also in the Champions League as well, being a crucial part of Ajax getting far into the Champions League. And now all of a sudden I have to sit behind the likes of Fred and Scott. And all of a sudden, Jesse Lingard had COVID. And all of a sudden Jesse Lingard, it doesn't have COVID anymore. And all of a sudden he's back into the starting lineup. So Ole Gunnar Solskjaer right now, for the last probably 2 to 3 months, have been just giving these political answers, giving answers that I guess are safe, and they won't question what the board won't question him, or other stakeholders won't question him as well too, right? But if I were Donny Van Der Beek, I would definitely want some reassurances that I will get some playing time, not only in the Premier League, but also in your FA Cup games and what's not. Right? Yeah, a lot of people are going to say that there are many competitions that United will be playing in, from the Champions League to the FA Cup to whatever, right? But at the end of the day, just to allude to what Mr. B said, the guy has wasted a year, right? At the end of the day, Solo, you also said that he's got a combine of 11 minutes. That's an insult to Donny Van Der Beek. He's a quality player, right? So Donny Van Der Beek, you have to ask yourself, are you just there for a paycheck, or are you there to play football? If you're there for a paycheck, sure, stay at Manchester United. But if you're there to play football, I honestly think that you need to find somewhere else to play, in my opinion.
And I'm going to quickly move on to Jay. Jay, the feelings amongst United fans, the only positive, what I think you quoted yesterday, and I think a lot of United fans were more excited about sort of the game on Saturday, is Greenwood. He was only the one that basically shined a bit. But also, Paul Pogba tried his best to carry the team in a way. But having Van Der Beek in that team on Saturday, could that make a massive difference to what we're trying to do? Because it was a game where we needed intelligent players, and it's almost no one stepped up to it.
Yeah, I mean, I'm in a minority of United fans in that I'm not an expert on Donny Van Der Beek. Every United fan I sort of speak to or interact with, they seem to know a lot about him. They saw a lot of him at Ajax. I didn't. I saw him in the Champions League a few times against Spurs and whatnot, but I didn't, he looks a tidy player, looks a good player. The only opinion I've got of Donny Van Der Beek is what I've seen of him at Manchester United. And I don't think it's binary. People say he's either like one or the other. He's either not had enough game time or he's not been able to prove himself. And I think there's a mixture of the two. You quoted some numbers, and I don't know what they were, about 11 minutes, but, he started 4 games in the FA Cup, 4 games in the League Cup, I think. He started a couple of games I think 4 games in the Premier League, which isn't a lot, but he played 90 minutes against Leicester towards the end of the season, 90 minutes against Wolves. He's had opportunities. Against Leicester in the FA Cup, he had an opportunity there. Now, the get out of jail free card in that situation was the whole team was dreadful, but so was he. He didn't play well. The whole team didn't play well, but neither did he. And some of his other teammates didn't have a point to prove, whereas he did. So whilst I don't think he's had enough of a chance, and he hasn't, I get that, I don't think he's taken the chances he has had. And I don't think you can say a player that's played, 36 games, I think, last season in all competitions, admittedly, only about 12 of them were starts. But that's still a bit of a chance. That's still enough to make your mark. And did he do that? Can you name me a game where Donny Van Der Beek really stood out? Maybe Southampton last season at St Mary's. He did okay. He did relatively well. But you've got to take your chance at Manchester United. And the sort of contradiction I get with most United fans is we want a challenge for the title. We want instant results. But we don't want to take a risk with someone who may take 4 or 5 games playing every week to get into this team. If you're willing to say, okay, let's give him a month, start him every game, and let's give him a month. And if he doesn't quite work out, look, you stick with him, let him get in there, then fair enough. But I don't think people would do that. If Donny Van Der Beek started against Wolves at the weekend and he's terrible, people ain't going to be expecting him to play the week later. If we drop points, they're not going to be saying, oh, we'll give him another chance. They'll be saying, well, don't play him again. So you have to decide what you want to do. And I think Ole Gunnar Solskjaer has probably got it right. I think people might say, oh, well, Donny this, Donny that. He was a £35 million midfielder, right? Which it's all right, but that's not an instant starter in today's game. 35 million quid for a 22-year-old doesn't mean that you're guaranteed to start for Manchester United. You have to force that issue. You have to earn your way into that team. And again, some people may see him at Ajax and think this guy's the best player, since Johan Cruyff, whatever. I haven't seen that. All I've seen is what I've seen in the United shirt, and I don't think he's forced the issue enough. Yes, he deserves more chances, but when I've seen him have chances, like the Leicester game, in the league as well, don't forget, he started, I think, that game in the league, as well as the game in the Cup against Leicester, and we lost both of them. I don't think he's taken them fully.
Oh, thank you, Jay. Let's go to Monday. Obviously, Jay made some great points there. Donny Van Der Beek, 35 million sign at Man United, not a guaranteed starter. He's got to play. He has played, like we said, games, but he hasn't proven. Obviously, in pre-season, we know he played with Motty in the middle. He did fantastically well. That's pre-season. But in the Premier League at the moment, where do you see him fit in right now for Manchester United? Because we are crying out for CDM, but also, do we still need to play? It pains me to say double pivot. It absolutely pains me to say it because I don't think it's.
Don't say it.
It pains me, but
don't say it. Don't say it.
Leading on to Jay, what do you make of this? Because I'm crying out for Donny. I know you're crying out. A lot of us are crying, but Jay did make some valid points there as well. So,
all right. So yeah, I'm listening to Jay. Listen to all you guys make some really valid points. Thing is, we had an issue last season about breaking teams down. You're not going to do that. The issue with McTominay and Fred, they haven't got the ability really to sort of play those progressive passes and give you something extra up the field, and pass the, think 1-2 touch football, that kind of thing to build up and retain possession in the opponent's box. I think Donny's got all the ability to do that. It's just that no one's seen it. I know Jay was saying give him a run. If you give him a run, he will get more familiar with the players. I think his IQ is ahead of these guys, maybe even the coaching staff as well. Because if they're not seeing what he's done at Ajax and how this type of player is, international as well, then they're missing the boat here. This guy, I'm thinking, yesterday was a prime example. We're playing a team 4-4-2, just like Villarreal, who sat there, obviously watched the cup final and thought, let's just sit there, camp ourselves, because Man United clearly have issues breaking us down. And we had to look at our goal. We had to force it. We had to really pop it into feet and really force it and get thing in the box and Greenwood to score. Other than that, our chances came from free kicks, set pieces, header by Pogba. When I look at Liverpool's goal, Mane's goal, it was 1-2-3 touch, and the fullback is bombing on. It's a pattern of play that we like to see. So, in my opinion, Donny's got all the credentials and he should be playing. I just think he's too intelligent for the team, and maybe they're not on his page. This is what I'm thinking. I don't think the other players. I think he can play with Bruno and Pogba, a couple guys like that. But maybe the other players not on his page. Maybe the coaching don't see what he's on. They think, oh, you've got to be able to tackle, or you've got to be, pinching or interceptions or something. He's a great player. He can play deep. He got the ball from defence. He can play as a number 6. He can play as number 8. He can play as number 10. He's got it all. This is the Ajax philosophy. They do it all. Dennis Bergkamp was playing right wing. It's total football. So give the guy an opportunity, because for me, when you're that age and you miss a whole season, you've been playing Champions League, top player, get signed, and then you don't play any games at all. And I know you got the stats there. He did play some games, but he's not getting the consistency, a run out. Do you understand what I'm saying? He should leave. He should leave, or at least be knocking on the manager's door and saying, what's going on? Help me out here. What am I doing something wrong? I think he's very professional. It doesn't strike me. Obviously, I'm only speculating. I'm not there at the training ground, but he doesn't strike me as someone who's going to be sulking or anything. If you say to him, "I want more from you in this sort of side of the game," I think he'll be trying to do it. But like I say, I'm just speculating. I believe with no evidence. But I want to be in the side. Take him out for Fred.
On Monday, you're hitting the nail on the head because Donny Van Der Beek is more intelligent than Fred and Scott McTominay. I've seen the guy. I've seen the guy on Monday. Don't hold back. He is, right? If the coaching staff on Monday can't see that, you and I can see that. You sitting in UK, I sitting in Toronto. Why they can't see that, right? He has to knock on the door and say, "Yo, what's going on? What is going on?" If you can't tell me what's going on, can you please tell me a club that I can go to where I can get playing time? End of story. There's nothing else.
With that as well, though, if you look into it and look like slightly deeper, I know Alex Ferguson has a tendency to do this as well to players. He did it to obviously Patrice Evra. He did it to Vidic as well. When they first came in the club, there weren't no major money signing, but their performance, he did leave them out of the team for a while until they sort of built themselves up to a certain degree. And look at all the players they turn out. So again, like what Jay said, there's some good points what Jay said there. It could be a case of Ole's got it right by buying his time with him, and then all of a sudden give him, say, 5-6 games down the line, someone get injured, he comes in, he could then cement his place in the squad, and then that's it now in the team for the rest of the season.
I hear what you're saying, but my biggest issue at the moment is combinations. From what we've got, we're all saying that Van Der Beek maybe should be starting. Who would he be starting ahead of? You know, I think he should be playing, but Scott McTominay, for all his faults and for whatever we say, seems to have more impact on the game than Van Der Beek does. You know, obviously Fred, I've got my opinions on Fred. I really don't think he's good enough to be a Manchester United player. I will leave that there. I'll just leave that one there. But is it? I don't know if Ollie even knows what Van Der Beek's best position is for the team. Regardless of what Van Der Beek thinks his best position is, what the manager thinks his best position is. If we look at the team and say, okay, then maybe Martial should be rivaling Rashford on the left, and Ahmad should be rivaling Jadon on the right. But does McTominay have a rival in the team?
Could it be a case of going forward with it? Because obviously Ole's been trialing this whole thing with Pogba playing on the left, obviously because of Rashi is out. But could it be a case where we could probably bring in Van Der Beek into the squad whilst Rashford's out? But obviously now you've got Jadon Sancho, so that's going to be a major headache now, isn't it, really?
It's not a headache. Sancho should be playing.
Well, Jay, what do you make of this whole Sancho thing not starting, not playing yet? Is it fitness, or what do you think this is down to?
I was surprised. I was lucky enough because I went on a tour last week at United for the first time in about 10 years. My kids wanted to go, and there was a game going on. The Burnley game was going on behind closed doors, so we got to watch it. So I got to see Jadon Sancho, got to see Donny Van Der Beek, and I thought both of them would have started actually, because Donny Van Der Beek started against Burnley. I thought he might have got a nod when McTominay was injured against Southampton. I thought Van Der Beek may have come in. He bulked up a little bit as well, and it was quite a physical game against Burnley, and he got stuck in. Sancho started that game as well against Burnley, and I thought, that's going to be. He's come on against Leeds as a sub. He's starting against Burnley in this behind closed doors game on a Tuesday. He's ready for the Sunday, to start on the right hand side. So when I saw the team, although I don't like to tweet when the team news is announced to start moaning because people do that, and often you're left with egg on your face. Aren't you? Like, what? I can't believe he's starting. But what's he doing starting? Bruno, not
we've got a culprit.
And then Bruno bangs in 3 goals, whatever. And it's like,
so
yeah.
Jay, to your right, we've got someone who does that all the time.
Listen, at least you take the chance. I don't even do it. I just leave it until after the game until I start moaning. But yeah, when I saw that team, we were doing a watch along. I was like, I'm amazed. And it wasn't just that we didn't start Jadon Sancho. It's the fact that we moved Mason Greenwood, who was outstanding against Leeds. He was outstanding. His movement, his touch, that goal that he got. If he doesn't take that chance, which is a difficult chance, it's a great ball by Pogba. And I don't want to get sort of off on a tangent here, but let me just mention this briefly. Great ball by Pogba, but that finish by Mason Greenwood, which is right in front of me where I was stood, was exquisite. It was a fantastic finish. If he doesn't take that, then it stays 1-1 for a little bit longer. Leeds were buzzing because of Ayling's goal. It can be a different game. It could have been a different game. So that was essential. So when I saw you moving Mason Greenwood off the centre, who's just had a fantastic performance, you're bringing in Anthony Martial, who's not played a lot of football and struggled of late, and you're not starting your £73 million signing, which is a big difference than not starting your £35 million signing, by the way. It made zero sense to me. And also, just on that Jadon Sancho front, it's not like Jadon Sancho had a packed-out Euros. The guy played 90 minutes against Ukraine and 30 seconds against Italy. That was it. That was his Euros, right? Harry Maguire played practically every game coming back from an injury. Once the first two games were out, he played every game back from an injury. He played against Burnley as well behind closed doors. He starts, obviously, as a defender. It's different, but you get my point. All the other players who played a lot of football in the Euros, Luke Shaw played a lot of football for England, they all play. Yet Jadon Sancho wasn't quite ready. Yeah. That baffled me. And I think, although I don't look to Tommy Tuchel for a lot of inspiration, but it made me laugh a little bit because after the United game, the Chelsea game's on, the first question he gets asked, you starting Romelu Lukaku? He says, yeah, of course I'm starting him. Why did I buy him?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And it's
tell the story.
Was that, I always try to put myself in the situation of, okay, what's he thinking? Now, I guess he wanted to give Martial a chance because he might rely on him and he's not played a lot of football. I guess he thought that maybe I can give Jadon another game till he's ready. But come on, man. Do you know what I mean? Like, just, we bought him for a reason. And I'm not being disrespectful to Southampton, but he would have caused them all sorts of problems running at them. Seriously. And in the end, we just didn't get going, really, did we, at St. Mary's? And it's an opportunity missed.
It is, and it's a massive 3 points. On Monday, quick one. Should we go through some comments quickly? Because
there's a lot of comments there, man.
Yeah, a lot of comments.
All right, I just want to say hi to everyone who's made comments today, tuning in. Wow.
If you're watching, please like, please share, please subscribe to the Man Agenda, guys.
So Talk MU, hi. Darren says hi. How you doing, guys? Jem says Lingard off the bench before Van Der Beek is slightly disrespectful. No. Yes. Yes.
No, I'm gonna minute. Jesse Lingard scored 9 goals and got 6 assists in his last 15 Premier League games. How is that disrespectful? I think that's disrespectful. We're too quick to disrespectful Jesse Lingard. Jesse Lingard went to West Ham and was the most prolific player in the Premier League. Like, it's not like we're bringing on someone who's shit. We're bringing on a player who was like the most prolific player in the Premier League from February onwards. So
I disagree. I think
disagree with those facts. Those are facts. He was the most prolific player.
West Ham. That's for West Ham. I disagree. I think I was looking for Van Beek to come on to get more possession, and for the last 15 minutes we didn't have a chance on goal. I think the only thing Lingard's going to give you is like those extra runs beyond the defender, but he wasn't giving you anything else. I wanted to get on the ball with Van Der Beek and start building like that as a team.
Go on,
sorry. I don't think that's going back to that though. Like Jesse Lingard scoring goals for fun in pre-season, scored in the midweek game I mentioned against Burnley. You know, and that was a physical game. That wasn't like you can have the ball type game. There was bookings and all sorts. They were going for it, Burnley. And I think, he's scoring goals. He's doing well. He has a great low move. He comes back into the team as a substitute. I ain't really got a problem with that. I don't think it's disrespectful to Donny Van Der Beek, for someone like Jesse Lingard to be ahead of him. Yeah. I think there's this thing of like, we're all talking about Donny Van Der Beek, Donny Van Der Beek can play as a 6. He can play as an 8. He can play as a 10. What's his best position? Where's he coming in and saying, right, this is my position. I'm knocking you out of the team? Because he wasn't at 6 at Ajax, surely. 17 goals in 2 seasons from a 6. What?
Yeah, he played everywhere. He played everywhere. When Frankie de Jong left, he could play in that role as well.
I've ever seen in my life. Is he going to play as a 10? Is he going to play as 8? What is his position then if he's going to come into this team?
Like I said, total football, they can play anywhere, comfortably.
But where's he going to play for Manchester United? That's my point. Yeah. Where's he going to come in? You've just said there, Lingard comes on, he's going to try and make runs in behind. I get that.
Yeah.
Donny Van Der Beek, what's he doing when he's coming on? Where's his position? Do you understand what I'm saying? It's like, it feels to me like we're saying he can play anywhere. So could Phil Neville. But whose position does he take? Well, he could.
He could.
I know, let me rephrase that. Donny's comfortable to play anywhere at a higher level. Phil Neville, you put him in midfield, he can only do one job. Donny's technically good on the ball. He'll give us more ball retention. Like I said, for the last 15 minutes of the game yesterday, we didn't have any chances. We were sitting back in our half. We were getting pushed back, and we needed the ball to feet to build as a team like that. Playing like Lingard is just going to be like a long ball or extra runs forward beyond the defence, I don't think that would have been effective for us. We've got players up there who can do that. I just felt we need to get someone with the foot on the ball and with the quality to sort of build it up as a team. That's just
I don't mind that. I don't mind that. I just don't think. I'm just sorry to get caught up in that comment. I just don't think it's disrespecting Donny Van Der Beek to play Jesse Lingard, because that's just like acting like Lingard's just a crap player, and he isn't. Do you know what I mean? That's why I'm like, I don't think it's disrespectful for bringing on Jesse Lingard.
I get both points, because when Jesse Lingard came on originally, I was like, oh no, not Jesse Lingard. But then when I start watching the game, and after I finished watching the game, and then I start watching some highlights, and then I heard some comments, and then I realized actually, Man United, we couldn't break West Ham down. Bringing Jesse Lingard on he could have gone behind, get behind the defense.
Southampton.
Southampton. He could have got behind the defense. So in defense there, I sat there and I put my hand up to my friend and say, you know what, you're right. I got that wrong, because he could get behind the defense and Van der Beek can't. So then,
so he can get behind the defense. He makes those off the ball runs. Donny can also do that. But who's providing him? You asking Fred to provide him with the ball? All right, let's move on. Sorry.
Fred
Do you want to say hi to Dave? Do you want to say hi to David, the real pundit, good friend of mine? Welcome back, David. It's been a long time. Where have you been? Been denying us. He says we're better playing off James Garner in midfield than Matic. The old man is done out here. That's his opinion. I don't know what you guys think. Yes or no? Talking Muse says Donny must be concerned at this point. Van Der Beek ? By Adam, or sorry, Danny Van Der Beek. I think you said that at the start. Solo instead of Donny.
I did say Donny. Leave me alone.
UK Strain.
I'm saying to everyone here, yeah. Me and Jay, we're going to talk about Slovakia next week.
Play Romania, yeah. UK Strains says Donny needs that game time. Unanimous. Jem says Mr. SB looks like he's ready to come off the bench as well. Adam, Mr. Bean, now's your chance to go and show them. Okay, that's a running joke. Hello, Auntie Herbert. How you doing? UK Strange Games. Ollie needs to set the record straight about Donny, as in saying something possibly like Solo was saying. Hello, Reese. How you doing, man? He's here for the king. That would be Omondi, myself. Thank you, Reese. Liverpool fan. Sorry, guys. I haven't sold out. Talking you says there's clearly an issue with Donny's style of play. Otherwise, he would get start. That's a good point. UK Strange again. Donny would never disrespect Man United. He's a nice kid. Yeah, very professional. Talking you, yeah, you see, agrees with Talking you there. Talking you agrees with UK Strains. If he did leave, who would buy him? Gemma's putting it out there.
Look, I think he'll go to a few places, probably Arsenal.
And Anthony's saying, I think Man United done the business in this window. You got good players in, but for Solo's sake, hope you keep Fred on the. Oh, by the way, big up Mr. B.
You guys, get off Fred. Get off him. Please get off Fred.
Say hello to Rich Sports, everyone. Tune into his show. Shout out to Jay Motty.
Thank you.
United through and through. That's right, man. That's right. Mr. B, say it here, man. Don't speak behind our back. One Ahmed says we need Donny to start. Yes, it's mixed views here. H says big up watching something game and Leicester game. Ndidi looks like exactly what we need. A lot of people talk about Ndidi, don't they? Being suited for us. Box, hi Box, how you doing? Says how many games has Fred stood out for in his 123 games for Man United? Andy Rock says I'm with Jay on this. He's quality, but yet to impress. There you go, Jay. Jem says it is him not earning a chance or other players not being droppable by Ollie unfairly, and Ollie not wanting to take a risk. Good.
Jay, you want to answer that one?
I think it's a little bit above. You know, like on the whole sub thing, I wouldn't want to bring Don. I can understand not bringing him on. I'm surprised he didn't actually give him a start against Southampton when McTominay was announced that he wasn't fit.
Yeah.
And because he played that midweek game against Burnley, I thought that's probably ideal, because I have a bit of a bugbear me sometimes with this whole, whatever you want to call it, double midfield pivot, two defensive midfielders, two number sixes, whatever term you want to give it. I mean, it's just like, I get it if you play Manchester City or if you play the Scousers or if you play in Chelsea, but you know, we went through this stage where we went to like Watford, Bournemouth, Newcastle, West Ham, played two holding midfielders and lost all those games. It's like you should be attacking these teams. You should be putting the likes of Bruno and Pogba on the front foot. And if you've got someone like Fred in there, and I wouldn't have been against having Donny Van Der Beek alongside him and saying like what you were saying, Mr. B, get on the ball, get Donny on the ball, let us show what you can do. Get involved with Bruno, get involved with Paul Pogba. Let's see what you're about. And letting sort of Fred sit in front of the defence. I know it's not ideal for him because he does like to go wandering a little bit, but that would have worked for a team like Southampton.
Yeah.
So I'm all for that. Rather than bringing him on with 5 minutes to go, a guy who's also not had much of a chance, didn't have much of a summer because of his injury, saying, right, come on with 5 minutes to go and win us this game. I'd rather have seen him start. And I was slightly surprised, to be honest with you, that when the news came through that McTominay wasn't quite fit, that he went with Nemanja Matic. I think that was overly cautious by Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. Although I wasn't about to tweet it because, you know what I mean? If we'd have won, I would have been like, Matic probably would have scored the winner if I'd have tweeted it.
Box kind of agrees with you. He said Ole too cautious, too negative, too defensive at times, and has his favourites. UK Strange, Ole needs to take more risks. That's how winning is done. And he says, I would say Ole has spoken to him. So there's been some talk behind the scenes. Talking, he says, but Ole is too scared of trusting players to do the job. He needs to stop worrying about our goal and concentrate on the opposition goal. UK Strain says, Jay, have a word with Ole, lads. Yeah, Jay, you got connections, man. Come on, have a word. Red 92, how you doing? What's next for Donny? Hopefully a game. Donny might get a run out against Shrewsbury in the Carling Cup. Oh, God, I've lost track now. Where am I? There's so many comments. My gosh. Let's come back to them later. We're schooling, yeah.
Guys, if you're watching, please subscribe. And we're moving into the second part of the show where I'm going to be talking about my guy. It's going to get a bit hectic here. My guy, Fred, True Red. So, Fred's performance at the moment cost Man United, age 28. He's in his prime at the moment. Went to Brazil, 1 goal at the Olympics. Come on, you, Fred. At the moment, transfer rating at the moment, he's average about 19 million at the moment. So his valuation has gone down dramatically at Man United. It seems like Ole trusts him. And honestly, I like Fred, but I can't see why Ole trusts him at Manchester United, because there is times in the game on Saturday when I looked at it. Last Saturday, there's times in the game last season, and it baffles me he's still in the team. Jay, do you believe he's in the team purely because he's probably got the legs? Because that's all the excuse I can use, but he's got the legs. I was talking to Mr. B today. I know what Mr. B. I think it's only because he's got the legs. I don't know why.
Yeah, I mean, Fred is one of those players that I think when he's frustrated, he's very, very frustrating. And I think he suffers from a few things. Like, I understand why he's in the team. He has a lot of energy. He gets around a lot. Do you know what I mean? Ole obviously trusts him. I think there was a stage sort of in Ole's second season, I think it was, where Fred played something like 90 minutes, like 25 games on the trot, or 20 games, something ridiculous. He just played like every minute of every game for quite a long spell. So obviously, Ole obviously likes him. I think the problem I have with Fred is he's one of those players when he's bad, when he starts giving the ball away, he does it in the worst areas. We saw it last season. There was 3 games last season on the spin where he gave the ball away on the edge of the box and it led to goals.
Leicester's one.
Yeah, Leicester was one where it's a through ball, wasn't it? And Leicester, it wasn't to give it away. He laid it like it was a perfectly weighted pass. So when he is bad, it's like, oh my gosh, like this guy, what is going on? And the problem I have with Fred is, I think personally, at 28 years old, he's at his ceiling. Like with McTominay, I see him improving. I see him learning a little bit. I looked at the Leeds game last week, for example, and I think, there's a player who looks like he's got potential to kick on a little bit more as well. As a squad player, I don't think McTominay necessarily is going to always be first teamer when we've brought in the players we need. But I have sort of hope for McTominay. Whereas with Fred, I think this is his ceiling. And is it good enough? Would he get into a Liverpool or a City team? I'm not so sure. So whilst I understand why we have Fred and what he brings to the team, for me, he should be a pit stop. This should be a player that does a couple of seasons and then we get in the player we want. Someone in the comments mentioned Ndidi, or I think one of you guys mentioned Rice or Bissouma or whoever. There's loads of names been sort of.
We've got one comment here who actually has said, what did he say? Let me go back to the comment, Joe. I've interrupted you, but
it's okay.
The point you just made, he just made the same point as you as well. Let me just find a comment here. Van Der Beek, Fred, no disrespect.
Just to add on, like Fred is being played out of position, right? Because at the end of the day, Fred is not a defensive midfielder, right? He's never played that for Shakhtar Donetsk. He doesn't play that for Brazil. So why is Ole Gunnar Solskjaer playing him in front of the back four, right? I've given up on Fred being physical. He's not physical, right? If it's a tussle between Fred and another player, that other player will win. And when that other player wins, how do the likes of Pogba and Fred, how do the likes of Pogba and Bruno Fernandes feel to see that their other player is being bodied off the ball by somebody who's probably smaller than him, but more intelligent than him, right? How do they feel, right? So as Jay said, right, at 28 years old, we definitely have to get in another player who will be slotting right in front of that back four. And just to disagree a little with Mr. B, he's not good enough to start for Manchester United, because at the end of the day, Mr. B, we still need squad depth, right? So in my opinion, no. You can disagree or agree with me, right? But I think that Fred should be coming off of the bench, and there are better quality players out there that are Manchester United grade, right? That is just
right. All right. Just on that. What's the scenario, right? What's the scoreline when you bring in Fred off the bench? I'm curious. You ain't bringing him on when you've got a 1-goal lead, and you ain't bringing him on when you've got a goal. So, what's the scoreline when you're bringing Fred on?
Could be 3 or 4 love.
You may as well bring me on. You were 4-0 up. There's a 4-goal cushion. Get Fred on. Come on, 5 minutes.
If you're 3 goals up, let's be real.
Come on, son.
No. I'm telling you, if we're 3 goals up, then bringing on Fred shouldn't be an issue.
Yeah, but then he shouldn't be in the squad. What is he there for? We can give Garner that appearance fee. It doesn't need to be Fred.
But also, there's something called injuries and suspension, Mr. B. When somebody gets injured or suspended, then what are you gonna do? What are you gonna do? You're gonna call back. You're gonna call back Andres Pereira from Flamengo? Come on.
I get the idea of him as a squad player, but for me, if he's a squad player, I'd start him. I just feel like bringing him on is a bit ropey as a sub, because I think he's one of those that, like, if he starts, he's all right. But I wouldn't personally bring him on to get a goal, because I don't think he's got it in him. And I wouldn't bring him on to defend the lead, because I think that if you've got a 1-goal lead and you bring on Fred, you're asking for trouble.
Yeah.
But it's just one of those with Fred. I understand, like I said earlier, I don't want to repeat myself. You see what he brings, but I think if we do have those title-winning aspirations, we have to look at probably a level above Fred, unfortunately, because there's a lot to like about him. But also, the one thing that I will say, just end on this with Fred, why is he always standing over free kicks?
Oh, yeah.
What is going through his mind, man?
We always say the Man United agenda.
You know what I mean? This guy must bang them top bins in training. He must be the best free kick taker in training, because every single free kick we ever get, he stood over it.
Bruno knows Portuguese. Fred knows Portuguese, and that's the only reason I can think about.
Yeah, well, you're Bruno. You're just saying Fred, man. Just get out of my way. What are you doing?
Yeah. But you know what was funny about that, though, because we were watching the watch along on Saturday, and he stood over Sunday. Sorry, he was doing it, and we were sitting there going, "Please don't tell me Fred's gonna hit it."
He does it all the time, doesn't he? It's like he's giving good advice or something.
At the Etihad, when he took one in the last minute, we needed a goal in the Carabao Cup semi-final. We lost at Old Trafford 3-2. We were winning 1-0 at the Etihad. The last kick of the game, and Mata was stood there. You think, free kick, Mata, we've got a chance. Fred was stood over it, and I'm thinking, Fred, man, just move out of the way. And he took it and skied it, and you're like, what are you doing? Like, that was the last time I remember him taking a free kick, to be honest with you.
You know, like in boxing, when they say, "Oh, this guy's a great in sparring," but when it comes to fight night, he's terrible. There's some boxers like that who are really good at sparring, but then they can't fight on the big stage. I think that's like, I don't know what he's doing in training, but when you're looking for intensity, he must be the best trainer out there, doing all the drills, the best at the beat test, best at every little aspect of training. That's probably why he gets in. I can't think of any other way, because watching the game on the eye test, he's really poor in a lot of areas. And we just mentioned one about physical strength, but you're talking about passing, distribution, reading of the game. It's not good enough for our level, like we say. If we want to win championships, he's not should be starting.
Understanding over free kicks.
Yeah, exactly. List goes on.
The list goes on. So what it was, the comment was about Declan Rice. Few people out there looking at Declan Rice as well to come to United. I know not some United fans are saying not for Declan Rice, but I'll take Declan Rice at Man United. The young guy at what is it as well? Brighton as well.
He played really well the other day, yeah.
And he's another player that we could be looking at as well. I think we should be looking at. We can do part exchange with Fred. So yeah.
But one thing that excites me, I think at least we're on the same page as fans and the staff, because everything in the gossip column seems to be about these players. Like they're talking about the Monaco guy the other day. Seems to be that right, Ruben Neves. So it seems to be that right sort of position we're looking at. Everyone's on the same page in that respect. But it's just about getting the right guy in.
No, it is. It's about getting the right guy in, and I don't. Jay, transfer window coming up. Can you see any movement? You reckon any movement at all? We've got to sell before we can buy. That's the starter.
I don't know. I don't think so. I hope I'm wrong. You know, there was talk on a few weeks ago. It looked like maybe Camavinga could be happening. I think that's gone cold a little bit. I know that there's been talk of him today. You know, of Ron's looking to move him on, but I don't think he's going to come to United. I think he wants to go somewhere else. Yeah, Madrid. I think someone just said that. I think you're right. Ruben Neves, I think, was just mentioned. Again, it's a possibility, but I always feel United, like, I think we'd know something. And I feel like these stories, the sort of few and far between, there's like, oh, United are interested in, or United looking at. There's not really been anything where you think, actually, it looks like there's real solid interest here. And also with the likes of Neves and even Camavinga, you know, what are we actually waiting for? You know Camavinga's got a buyout clause there, or you know, they're willing to sell him for 35 million euros. You know that Ruben Neves, if you want to get him, you know what the price is. So why is that not happening yet? So I don't know. I just feel like we might end up one of those scenarios where we're just gonna have to settle. And I know that sounds a little bit spoiled because they're two world-class players, but we're gonna have to settle for Jadon Sancho and Rafael Varane. And it pains me to say it, but I don't think that's enough for a title challenge. Certainly not a title win.
Moving on now quickly, we've got about 5 minutes to talk about the Varane you just spoke about. So again, he's at Man United at the moment, and again, we don't know what's going on, why he's not starting again. I know obviously Lindelof hasn't really put a foot wrong at all, but what's going on with him? Because surely they are our key signings, and neither of our key signings are actually starting for Man United at the moment.
With Varane, sorry.
Yeah.
Varane, did you show you my quote out then? I wasn't surprised Varane didn't start because I don't want to keep going on about that game, but obviously I thought that game against Burnley was like a sort of Ollie was seeing who was fit and getting a bit of readiness for him. Varane wasn't even in the squad, so I'm thinking, all right, maybe he's looked at him, thought he's not quite ready yet. But for me, I'm old school. I think just get him in, get him playing, get him in alongside Harry Maguire. That's your partnership. Get him playing straight away. Do you know what I mean? Get them used to each other. Don't wait and muck about. So it wasn't the end of the world because I thought Victor Lindelof had a very good game against Leeds, and I don't hate on Lindelof the way some other people do. But for me, you spent 114 million quid on players.
Yeah, get on the pitch.
Start them, yeah. I mean, if you look at it, our three biggest money signings in the last 18 months have been Donny Van Der Beek, Rafael Varane, and Jadon Sancho. And, you know, none of them started, and two of them came on for like 20 minutes. And one of them didn't even do that. Sorry, none of them started, one of them didn't come on, and the other one came on for 25 minutes. And you think, what we're doing? You know what I mean? Like, you bought these players for a reason. Donny Van Der Beek's one argument. But you can't be having the same argument with the likes of Jadon Sancho and Rafael Varane. Come on.
Sorry, Jay, can I ask you a quick question?
Of course you can.
Right back situation. Are you happy with Delo as an understudy to Wan-Bissaka?
It's funny with Delo because I like Delo. I do. I think he's a good guy, and you know, people forget he won that penalty in Paris that more or less got Ole Gunnar Solskjaer the job, doesn't he? But I think he flatters to deceive a little bit. Like people were saying how he had these wonderful Euros when he came in for Cancelo in the Euros. I thought he did okay. I watched the Portugal game. I don't think he did that well. And he's a little bit erratic. For me, he seems more like a win-back. I personally think that if we don't get Trippier, which I don't think we'll, the low this season, okay, but I think Ethan Laird, who's gone out on loan again, and who's already doing really well. He did really well at MK Dons last season. Is it Swansea? I think he's gone to this season.
Swansea, yeah.
Yeah, thank you. I think next season he'll come in and he'll be an alternative or an understudy to Aaron Wan-Bissaka. So I think Delo, probably this season, yeah, we'll probably need him as something different because I think if he's fit, Aaron Wan-Bissaka will play. And he keeps himself relatively fit. And he played a lot of football, didn't he, last season, Aaron Wan-Bissaka? I'm not giving you anything insightful. I'm sure you've all said it. He just needs to improve a little bit going forward.
Yeah. Also, a quick one. We've got one of our panel. We got one of our panel on here who brought up about Lindelof playing as a CDM the other day. We just want to ask.
Like, do you know what? Right, I hear this argument. We get it on the channel constantly. Like in our comments, CDM, Lindelof, CDM. Now he can pick out a pass, Victor Lindelof. He did it for Bruno's hat trick, didn't he? That third, the ball, the third ball. Fantastic ball, one of the best balls that you'll see in a long time. But it's not that simple. It's not like, he can pass and he's a defender. He goes at CDM. CDM's such a specialist role where you have to have such discipline. Like, you really do. And the great players make it look easy. Like Michael Carrick is one of the all-time greats for me. He barely did any crunching tackles. He just read the game so well.
Yeah.
Victor Lindelof, there's times when I question his positioning. There's times when I question his sort of awareness. I don't think he's a CDM. I'll be honest with you. I just think and I'm not knocking people for suggesting it because a lot of people do it and I get it. I just think it's sort of oversimplifying it. It's going, he can pass and he can stick a foot in. He can go at CDM. I don't think it works like that. It's very rare that you get centre-backs that convert to CDMs. You could probably name one. Like Ledley King, I think was the last one.
You more put a defensive midfielder into a centre-back position.
Yeah, exactly.
Not the other way around.
Yeah, it's very, very rare. And I think that, that could be one of those where you could try it, but you end up with egg on your face, and it just looks a bit silly as well. And it's like a bit of a kick in the teeth for the other midfielders as well when you go in like we're going to put in Victor in the CDM role because you lot ain't up to it. Yeah, I'd rather see. I'm not having a dig, but going back to the start of the show, I would much rather see Donny Van Der Beek be given a chance. I think it was you, Mr. Spears, talking about you'd seen him there. Sorry, who was saying they'd seen him there playing there quite a lot for Ajax? I forget. Sorry, yeah.
Amanda.
Sorry, Amanda. So I'd rather give him a chance in the six than Victor Lindelof because at least Donny Van Der Beek is someone, as you pointed out, who's played there and played well there. Victor Lindelof never played there, I don't think. I think he's played right back and centre back.
There you go. So, guys, if you're watching, please like, please share, please subscribe to the Man United Agenda. On Monday, we're going to hit some comments out, and then I think we're going to call it a day. So let's get
my lips are dry. Hold on, because there's a lot of comments, I don't want to start stuttering and spitting at the screen. So here we go. Greenwood is a lot better than Martial. Take Anthony Martial out of the team. It's been poor for too long, unfortunately. That's from UK Strange. Box says Lingard is a player who started a Premier League game for us, who last started a Premier League game for us in January 2020. A player clearly not trusted for Ollie for the next 2 years. Why play him now? ? WU says Mason plays so well up front first game. I just don't understand how we start with Martial there. Just agreeing with you, Jay. That was a good point again. Karen says, hi, Karen says, Donny has a brilliant pre-season. And on the other hand, Lingard hardly played in pre-season. And when we needed a goal, we brought Lingard on right wing. Was it on right wing saying? And put Pogba, our best player, back in midfield. Yeah, that's true. Andy says Lingard played to possibly prove himself or maybe as a goodbye. We ain't got time for testimonials here.
Yeah.
Premier points at stake here. Box says after Lingard's purple patch, he failed to score in the last 8 games of the season. Karen again, Donny is a midfielder who can create chances. I think she's trying to say, unlike Lingard, who just can't break low blocks. Box again, Ollie bringing on a sub at 85 minutes was far too late regardless. Even the best sub in the world, Solskjaer himself, needed to come on at least 8 minutes to get in the game. Good shout. I like that one. Andy, how you doing, Andy? He says, nice to hear Reason's comments, unlike the United stand, permanent criticism. Is the United stand, what's the United stand? I don't know.
Another channel.
Okay. Oh God, oh God, there's so many comments. Oh, here we go.
Yeah, there's one down there I want Jay to have. There's one for Jay right towards the end.
Do you know where it is? You want to prick it out? Because there's so many. I'm sorry, guys. I can't. Do you want me to just go through them quickly? So Prophecy said Pogba should leave, get Rice and Haaland in, can sell Martial if we have to. Chelsea completed around 10 deals in 2 weeks, income and outgoing, and all we did was just get Varane and Sancho. Like this was last year's deal. Too much love for United, but we need to be up there for the title challenge. Prophecy says, this is your comment. It says, Bruno, Donny, Rice, McTominay, Garner sounds good. Liverpool have been selling all their reject players, getting in about 50 mil. Mr. B agree. Emergency says Fred not clean enough on the ball to be a CDM weekly. No disrespect to Fred, but he isn't a Man United player. We need quality like Bruno and Pogba. Fred, McTominay, Van Der Beek, Garner as midfield depth next season sounds good to box. Yesterday, Chelsea started with Jorginho and bring Kante on to finish the game. That's depth in quality. Laughter. Why isn't United going for Basuma from he is exactly the player Leicester or Everton will buy, and we won. Okay, thanks for that. He's moved on.
Phil Jones.
Jones was taking corners. I remember that. Ollie has made Fred fix. He's the next Ronaldo. That's Gemma. Ollie is not being financially backed by the Glazers to get CDM or the money is available. Plus, Ollie is being deluded, saying the boards, I think, we should be okay in CDM this year. Cristiano Ronaldo to join Man United for 24 million bargain, says UK Strange. Emergency Dump says, we're coming to an end now, guys. Emergency Dump says, too much money for the Glazers. They got 2 bargains in Sancho and Varane. If they wanted to make a push, they would get a CDM.
Jay, this is not for you.
This guy says, Jay is daddy. Do you want to add to that, Jay?
That's my burner account now. That's my other account. Sorry, I was a little bit distracted on my phone. I was just logging in Machiel the group. Yeah, that's one of my aliases. Jay, we love you. Bring back Jay.
Emergency Dump says, need a Tarek type player, as you say, Jay, type controller on the spot. You say Carrick's world class. Yeah, he's really underrated. I felt so too. Phil Jones is DM. No, thank you. I think Big Phil should go in goal. Mr. B right back. Amondi midfield. Solo up front. Hold up the corner flag. League winners there. Where's Big Phil? It'd be like a Big Ron as a manager. I think Big Phil should go in goal. Oh, for Arsenal.
Oh, my arms are that long.
Yeah. Come to the end of it now. Jem says, fresh rumours today. Ronaldo wants to leave Juventus and join an English club in the Champions League. Hint, hint. And Daniel says, Donny should start for United game after game. He clearly has worked on the physical. You said earlier, Jay, he's visibly seen he's put on some muscle. And I think he suits the CD midfield roles. So, yeah, central defensive midfield role. Last 2 comments. Great show, guys, by Emergency Dumps. And a bit of laughter. So much comments.
Thank you guys for all that comments, positivity. We're on the Man United agenda, and we had Mr. B in the house on Monday, Big Phil, and Jay. Can you tell the whole wide world where you're from and where we can find you? And please subscribe to their channel as well. I've been watching a lot of Jay lately on his channel.
Big. Sorry. Before you start, I watched the interview the other day. I've watched with Brian McClare. I watched the Fabio Rafinha.
Oh, that was brilliant.
The twin one. You were right. That was brilliant. Loved it. Sorry.
No, thank you. Yeah, he was so funny. He was so candid as well. He was good stuff. Over at Stretford Paddock. Make sure you check us out. But listen, you know where to find. Make sure you check these guys out. Make sure you support. I'm loving all the comments, and I love the fact you read out every single comment. You've got a great community here. I love the United community you've got here, and everyone today makes really good points. And I think that you guys do this because you love Manchester United Football Club. And you want to see Manchester United Football Club succeed. So always happy to come on this channel and show you guys a lot of love because I really admire what you're doing. And I think a lot of channels, myself included, could learn a lot from the Man United agenda because despite what you say, the only agenda you've got is the fact that you love Manchester United, and I love that about you guys.
Thank you, man. Thank you.
Oh my God.
Thank you. And guys,
such nice comments, man. I'm emotional. Thank you so much.
Listen, you gave me 10 quid to say that, so I'm going to say it. I'm a man of my word, man. I'm only joking. Good stuff, man. Keep it up. I've had a top laugh, and like I said, we'll be doing some more collaborations with you guys. We'll get you on our channel as well. Do some.
Thank you, man.
Hey, that's a big endorsement from the main man. Thank you,
man, Jay. And it's always a pleasure, guys, having Jay on the channel. And we are the Man United agenda. And guys, we're not saying we're perfect, but we're unique because what we do.
We're special.
I get names wrong. I get names wrong all the time. Mr. B with his one-word comment, chest with his Big Phil with his chest out, and on Monday, Always
Just
had an
skin and
opinion.
teeth.
So guys, if you're watching, please like, please share, please subscribe, and we'll see you on Wednesday night. We'll be back on Wednesday, guys. Thanks for watching the Man United Agenda.